From Reminder Media, this is Stay Paid, a sales and marketing podcast on a mission to help you close more deals and retain more business. Hosted by the VP of Marketing, Josh Stake, and Reminder Media's president, Luke Akery. So get ready to hear the golden nuggets that will allow you to live a life of freedom tomorrow, but only if you take action today.
Welcome to another Silver Dollar episode of Stay Paid, the best sales and marketing tips of your week in 15 minutes or less. My name is Joshua Stike.
And I'm Luke Akery.
And today we are going to be talking all about content marketing. So content marketing continues to be one of the hottest search terms in marketing and even has made a heavier resurgence lately. And more and more brands and businesses realize that in order to get people to know, like, and trust you, you have to do more than simply promote or sell yourself or your products. You got to add value to receive value. So today we're going to talk about what content marketing is, how to create content. So we're going to walk through the 3 pillars of content that you should be creating, and then ultimately why it works for your business.
Yes. It's so funny. We were talking before we came on the show about, I was watching our old Stay Paid podcast. And I'm not sure if you should go back and watch them. If you want to laugh, you should go back and watch them. But this in and of itself, what we're doing right now is a form of content marketing. This is a medium of distribution and we're putting out content, right? That's valuable. But it is so funny. I think the biggest thing that holds people back from content marketing is they want to do it perfect. And right, perfect is the enemy of what?
Done.
Yeah, perfect's the enemy of done. I needed Josh to finish that because I wasn't sure what to do there. But perfect's the enemy of done. And I think, this is a great example. Go back and watch one of our old episodes of Stay Paid and just realize, you're gonna suck. You're gonna suck when you start.
We recorded that first episode 5 times. That was the best one out of all the recordings.
It was rough, but you're gonna be bad when you start something.
We're going to talk about what content marketing is here in a second, but this is also going to lead us into this idea of what do you want to be achieving with your content. I think that was one of the biggest struggles starting off was, well, what do we actually want to be achieving with this podcast? And so we're going to get into that when we talk about the different pillars. But first of all, what is content marketing? According to the dictionary, it's a type of marketing that involves the creation and sharing of online material that does not explicitly promote a brand, but is intended to stimulate interest in its products or services. I also pulled this from Content Marketing Institute because I think it really hammers home this idea of value. Content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. So if you go back and look at that, it's not about necessarily promoting yourself. That was one of the hardest things about choosing, how to make the podcast. Like, well, how do we make a podcast that benefits the business but doesn't talk about and promote the business? And that's all about, leading with trust, leading with value, and making sure that, hey, we want to be educators. Yeah. We want to take everything that we've done in our business and then teach others about what we did, what was successful, what wasn't successful, so that they can take it and learn. And then if they actually apply that, then maybe one day we'll earn the right to earn their business as well as they kind of come into our brand and our fold and understand who we are.
Content marketing is a long-term game. So you are literally going to put in so much effort over and over and over and not see immediate gratification. But I will tell you, using this podcast as the example, it is amazing when you stick with it and you continue to put it out. And for Josh and I, just talking about educating and being educators and stuff like that, it's amazing what it's done for us and our brand and our business.
So different types of content marketing that you can use would be blogs. So actually blogs are one of the biggest drivers and most important pieces of content. 58% of marketers said original written content is the most important type of content, outdoing visuals and video. And there's a lot of benefits to having that original written content, both from a search engine perspective, both from a thought leadership perspective, but it also sets you up to be able to break down that content and produce micro content from a longer form. And we actually talk about that in our content pyramid episode where we talk about how to do that. Podcast, like you mentioned, social media obviously is going to be the biggest.
We take a lot of our blogs and chop them up into little social media bites where we'll all literally take something. We do it for the podcast in here too. You'll take one of our blogs. Yeah. You'll see what's trending and we'll come and we'll record a podcast on it. And then the podcast we then chop down to little video Instagram.
Videos for Instagram. You get all that
It's pretty crazy.
Email is another way that you can distribute your content. Direct mail is a great way to distribute value-driven content. You've got videos, infographics, ebooks, and white papers. So ebooks are a really strong visual way to share content. White papers go a little bit more in-depth, require a lot more research behind them. You can do interviews with people in your community. You can interview clients. That's a way
That's a great idea.
Produce content. On average, B2B marketers use an average of 13 content marketing tactics. So if you're kind of thinking about the different things that you should be producing, that's what the competition is out there doing.
I think the question people might ask is, what medium should I choose? My encouragement to you would be, you need to be able to commit to whatever medium you choose, to be consistent in it, because content marketing is all about consistency. People will come to expect it. You want to almost get a rhythm going in your content marketing. Like, people expect a new episode of Stay Paid every Monday and Thursday, and they come to actually appreciate that and want that. But be on as many as possible. So as many as you possibly can, because content marketing, in the whole scheme of what it is it's brand building, and you're building a brand around a certain topic, right? And you're getting people to think something about you. And the more places they can see that brand, the more your brand's going to stay with them, the more your brand's going to resonate with them, the more you'll be able to reach people on the medium they like to communicate on, whether it's a podcast, a blog, an email, whatever it is.
Yep. And another thing to keep in mind is your content marketing strategy is going to come before your social media strategy. So before you even lay out what you want to do in your social media, focus on that content marketing strategy. That's going to drive your SEO strategy, your search engine optimization for being found on Google, your PR efforts, your pay-per-click. So your Facebook ads even is going to be driven from your content. We run Facebook ads all the time on our content. So we'll take the content that's available for free on our website and then use that as a way to do Facebook ads so that we can get people filling out the form. Now we have their information. We can send them more valuable content in our email. All right. So that kind of leads into then, all right, well, what content do I create? How do I start to put together this all of this content for this strategy? And this is where we teach the 3 pillars. So we came up with the 3 E's of
something memorable
of the content. We love acronyms.
I will give a plug though, and I can't remember the episode number, but I think it was Melissa, the law firm, that talked about finding your avatar. Because I don't want to butcher who I'm giving credit to, but
it was Allison Williams.
Or right? Allison Williams. Okay, so she talked about something that's really, really powerful when you think of content marketing. Is like, okay, before you start creating this content, which is around the 3 E's, you need to know who you're creating the content for and the why behind that. So she talked about creating your client avatar. Like, who is your client? What age are they? Where do they live? You want to know things like their pain points, all that type of stuff. After you figured that out, because that's going to guide a lot of, what you're going to write on and what you're going to do, you want to walk through the 3 E's, which is entertainment, education, and endearment. And these 3 E's, what we have found is, I think most people in business, they tend to always focus around education, where it's product education, it's transactional information, and then they wonder why their content doesn't get engagement, where you actually need to shift your mindset. And what Josh said at the beginning is so powerful, which is you just need to give. Like, you just need to lead with value and you just need to give. And that's why the 3 E's are a powerful framework to follow, because when you're thinking about entertainment, you're not really thinking about getting something for yourself. You're thinking about giving. You're thinking about education. You need to think about it from a standpoint of what knowledge can you give away for free that's going to empower somebody's life. When you think about endearment, you're going to think about, how do I give back? And each of these we can go through a specific example on if you want, but that's really the 3 E's of content.
No, I think it'll be really powerful to go through some examples. One of the things that we've done for our own magazine when we create American Lifestyle, and I'm using this as an example because we said at the beginning, we want to bring back what we've learned and share with everybody else, is every article that gets selected runs through this filter of, is this going to make somebody smile, right? Is this going to make somebody stay? Is it going to make them happy? Because if you can send something to somebody that makes them smile, that's going to make them think better of you and naturally think of you the next time they need your business. Is it going to spark a memory? I think this is one of the most powerful things that we found out with the magazine early on. And you kind of look at American Lifestyle and say, well, why would I send a travel article to my clients if I'm in real estate? And we had a financial advisor who sent out the magazine. I think it featured an article in Kapalua Bay. And he called us and said, my client called, one of his high net worth clients called practically in tears because it reminded them of a honeymoon.
Wow.
Of her and her husband's honeymoon that they went on.
That's crazy.
And immediately started doing additional business with him. And then the last one, and this I think is the most important one, is, will it spark a conversation? Will this piece of content actually open up the door for me to have a conversation with the people that I'm sending to? And each one of those, this entertainment, the education, and the endearment, can all do that. Endearment, you can share your values or different types of charities that you're involved with. That's going to connect somebody with like interest. Education, obviously, is going to be sharing a little bit in your industry, what you know.
Great example would be if you're in real estate, you might share right now what it would take, what you get from refinancing your home. Like most people are not educated to know kind of the ins and out of refinancing, what the mortgage rates are. You could partner with a mortgage broker or something like that to do that. If you're in real estate, you could share something like, here's the 3 top renovations you can do for your house in order to increase your home equity, right? Cool things that it's about your business, it's tied to your business, but it's also education. Is more about giving a valuable piece of information to that consumer. Those are the things you want to think of.
It doesn't even have to relate to your business. We run, we have a webinar where we walk people through how to run Facebook ads. We don't sell Facebook ads. This is just something that we knew would add value to some of our clients and wanted to share that with them. What about entertaining content? What would be some examples of that? Because I think that's...
So some cool ones I've seen. So I'll use like my brother, Steven, for example. He's an agent in Lynchburg, Virginia. Some of the things he's done on like his content marketing is he'll go and he'll do a couple things. One, he'll share the local events that are going on, right, in the community. And then also he'll do, this is a great one from Tom Toole, but he does a similar thing. He'll go and he'll interview restaurant owners, or he'll interview the coffee shop or something like that. Tom Toole, go check this guy out. He was on our podcast. He has a great Instagram. He does a review of sandwich shops.
Yeah.
Right? So he wants me to, he was telling me, because we're in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, he goes, pick your sandwich shop. I want to do a review with you. And who's the big guy that does this, Barstool Sports?
Oh, yeah.
He does this of pizza. What is it, Dave?
Portnoy.
Portnoy, yeah. So look this up, but it's insanely popular, right? He reviews pizzas, I think it is. Well, Tom Toole's doing this for sandwich shops. He's a real estate agent. This guy's a top real estate agent within RE/MAX the last 17 years. Reviewing sandwiches is one of his pieces of content, but it's entertaining and it ties him to the community. People go, Tom knows the community.
Yeah, it ties to your community and fit your personality. Like, don't try and do some sort of piece of, like, if you're not a funny person, don't try and do funny content. If you don't love sandwiches,
like us, don't tell dad jokes.
Yeah. All right, I'll see my way out. That one hurt a little bit, but
you set yourself up for that one, man. You just put the golf ball on the tee.
All right, so now let's kind of wrap this up with why content marketing works. I pulled some stats for this so that we can kind of, we've talked a little bit about it already in terms of building that know, like, trust with people so that you can earn their business. Year-over-year growth in unique site traffic is 7.8 times higher for people that make content versus people that don't. Content marketing costs 62% less than traditional marketing and generates 3 times as many leads, and those leads are going to be so much higher quality. The inbound leads that we receive from our content for people that come through our organic content are always higher quality than ones that we pay for. And then conversion rates are nearly 6 times higher for content marketing adopters. So I was just kind of talking about that.
What I wish they would put with these stats is I wish so bad that they would put the time frame of when those leads came in, because I guarantee you, if you looked at that on a roadmap, just knowing from our own business, you would see very little return in the first, call it a year, right? For us, it was 3 years till this podcast started to get any bit of traction. Very, very little return. And then all of a sudden it starts growing and growing and growing. We see this, and even being able to get more and more guests on that, I hate to say we're not responding in the past, but didn't really respond in the past that now respond based upon just the traction we get on the podcast. So the return does pay off, but man, sometimes it feels like you're in that desert. So just keep going.
Yeah. Customer loyalty, also another huge advantage to content marketing. We all know the stats. It's 7 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than to keep an existing one. Producing consistent content that adds value keeps those clients close to you and will build those raving fans that will refer you out and never leave. So there you go. There's content marketing strategies explained. The 3 E's. Keep that thing in mind, because that is so powerful from a standpoint of, if you're trying to think, what am I going to do today? What am I going to share? What am I going to post? Is it entertaining? Is it educational? Is it endearing? Thank you so much for listening. You can head on over to staypaidpodcast.com to get the show notes for this episode. If you like this episode, we would love it if you would leave a review on Apple Podcast and leave a comment. I was thinking, I talked to my brother last night. I'm going to share. He gave us the show a testimonial.
This is a great testimonial.
I'm going to share this on another episode, probably whenever we read testimonials in the beginning. So he went off, and I said, well, he goes, I don't know if you want me to do anything with that. Should I post it anywhere? I said, well, can you go to Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, can you leave us a review?
And he goes, well, I don't know how. So if you don't know how to go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review, we have a video.
Yeah, we'll teach you.
Do.
So we're going to share that video over on staypaidpodcast.com on Instagram. At Stay Paid Podcast on Instagram. When this episode comes out, someone remind me. We'll have to post that video the same day. That'll show you how to leave a review. We really appreciate it. And we love you if you subscribe as well. If you want to get hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindermedia.com or find us on Instagram, like I mentioned, at Stay Paid Podcast. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
I'm Luke Akery. I don't know if we can end without a dad joke.
I know.
Though.
Now I'm
Yeah,
sad.
Did I miss the dad joke?
He missed the
my
dad.
gosh.
I was
Luke
like,
made a joke about the
I
dad
made a
jokes.
joke about us not being funny and doing funny content.
I actually pulled this joke in honor of our content creators.
Oh,
and
there we
because,
go.
we have writers, I speak about Gabrielle in the episode. We have our writers. We've got Matt Brady on our editorial team, Alexa Brickert, Rachel Stevens, Nathan Smith. We have a great team creating all of our content. So this one is for you guys. Did you hear about the semicolon that broke the law? He was given 2 consecutive sentences because a semicolon is used when you have
2 consecutive sentences.
Once again, I am, for this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stake.
And I'm Luke Akery. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, my action item for you today is you should be thinking to yourself, what piece of content can I put out consistently, right? So often we don't move forward because we overthink it. We think we need this whole content marketing strategy. I mentioned at the beginning, go find your avatar. You're like, what the heck? I can't do content marketing until I find my avatar. Instead, let's simplify it. What is something that you can put out consistently, something that you know? So if you're a real estate agent right now, it might be a market report. There are so many great agents. I've mentioned Will Penny before. He's been on this show. He does like a Facebook Live video of what's going on in his market in Ohio every single week. And he also boosts that. I think he puts $50 behind it on a Facebook ad. And it just gets his brand out there. That's something simple. It's a piece of content that will get your brand out there that you can take action on today. Pick a piece that you can do, take action on it. Remember, the difference between top producers and mediocre producers is top producers take action. Take action on that today.